A Pentagon insider just handed over a classified dossier from the Trump administration to Congress, and what it contained shook officials in ways nobody expected. Not aliens, not flying saucers. Instead, these files hinted at a technology race so advanced, so carefully guarded, that even top lawmakers were blindsided. The moment this dossier landed on Capitol Hill, the usual routines kicked in. Nothing casual, no hallway handoffs, no envelopes slipped under doors. This was SAP's Special Access Program. The insider followed a precise, digitized chain of custody to deliver the file to the House Oversight Committee. Biometric scans, to security officers, logs, double-locked safes, every move tracked, every glance recorded. Not even a committee chair could bypass it. Inside the SIF, a windowless fortress-like vault, the file sat under guard. Digital drives, forbidden. Loose papers, accounted for down to the last page. Each handoff witnessed, each signature logged. If a page even hinted at top-secret content, the House Security Director was instantly notified. It was meticulous to the point of obsession, and for good reason. Because the moment you touch UFO files, you touch a nerve that goes all the way to the Pentagon. Lawmakers grew anxious. Staffers signed new NDAs. Phones were confiscated. The media lit up after the smallest rumor. Cable panels debated advanced foreign tech, UAP, or just another heavily redacted Pentagon memo. Here's the kicker. By 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence had confirmed 144 unexplained encounters. 80 tracked by multiple sensors, 18 defying conventional physics. Objects accelerating, stopping, and turning with no visible propulsion. And yet, these encounters were just the tip of the iceberg. By 2024, more than 1,800 cases were under review. Most explainable, but a stubborn number remained unresolved, locked away in classified vaults. Congress demanded answers. The House Oversight Committee held rare hearings. Pilots testified about near misses. Radar logs showed anomalies, but every time a lawmaker tried to push for more, redactions slammed the door. The files weren't about proving aliens, they were about understanding technology that didn't belong to anyone. At least, not publicly. Inside the documents, the story wasn't CFET, was engineering. Advanced propulsion concepts, metamaterials bending electromagnetic waves, radar and infrared data tracking objects moving faster than any known aircraft. Some incidents might even be sensor spoofing advanced decoys, making ordinary drones look impossible. Trump never claimed to have proof of extraterrestrials, but he knew the files were interesting, a glimpse of something dangerous and secret. The real threat, these papers suggested, wasn't little green men. It was the unknown in our skies, manipulated or engineered, human or otherwise. This cycle of secrecy is decades old. The Robertson panel in 1953 warned against public hysteria. Project Blue Book closed most UFO cases in 1969, leaving hundreds unexplained. Even major incidents like glowing objects chased by Iranian pilots in 1976 were archived, classified, and buried. Today, the same pattern repeats. 144 incidents confirmed. Dozens unexplained, Congress pushing the public demanding, and the Pentagon controlling the flow. Every stamp, every code on these files, SAP no foreign. Orkin defines who can see what. Most Americans, even most lawmakers, are locked out. The technology inside could redefine aerospace, surveillance, and national defense. Yet the public only sees the numbers. Not the methods. Not the materials. Not the speed. Not the physics-defying turns. So when a Pentagon insider delivers a dossier in 2024, it's not just another classified handoff. It's a glimpse into a hidden world, advanced tech, global stakes, and a government balancing secrecy with accountability. Aliens, maybe not, but the skies, definitely not empty. The question remains, what else is hidden in those vaults? And how much longer will the truth remain just out of reach? And yet, despite these walls of security, the files made it through. Before a single lawmaker saw them, the papers had passed more layers of scrutiny than most Americans will ever even hear about. Once inside, the tension was immediate. Classified UAP files don't just sit quietly. Phones were locked. Staffers signed NDAs. Even the most seasoned members of Congress braced themselves. Because the moment you open a file like this, questions explode. What if foreign powers are involved? What if the tech is already here, but no one's talking? By 2021, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence confirmed 144 unexplained encounters. 80 tracked by multiple sensors, 18 that behaved in ways defying conventional physics, hovering, accelerating, disappearing in milliseconds. And by 2024, the Pentagon had over 1,800 cases under review. Most explainable, but dozens remained a mystery. Hiding behind layers of redactions and SAP codes, the hearings that followed were tense. Pilots described near misses with objects moving at impossible speeds. Radar operators logged returns that matched nothing in any known inventory. Lawmakers pressed, analysts explained, but the answers always stopped short. Every document, every page, every number whispered the same thing. The government knows more than it's saying, and controlling what we see is as much about power as it is about safety. Inside the files, the story was clear: propulsion, sensors, and physics-defying maneuvers. Metamaterials engineered to bend electromagnetic waves. Objects accelerating from zero to hypersonic in seconds. Radar and infrared data confirming these events. And some of the most baffling cases, likely decoys. Advanced sensor spoofing designed to make ordinary drones appear impossible. Trump never claimed to have seen aliens, but in public comments, he hinted, "Maybe I'll release everything one day. But you might not like what you find. That what you find isn't UFOs, it's an unseen technology war, and it's happening above our heads, in American airspace, with pilots, sensors, and intelligence caught in the middle." The secrecy isn't new. In 1953, the CIA convened the Robertson Panel, warning against public hysteria over UFOs. By 1969, Project Blue Book had catalogued over 12,000 sightings, closing most, but leaving hundreds unexplained. Fast forward to the 1976 Iranian pilot incident, or the East Coast UAP events in 2021, the pattern repeats. Governments classify, archive, and protect. Every marking on a file SAP, no foreign organ defines who can see it. Most Americans can't. Most lawmakers can't. These aren't bureaucratic quirks. They are legal tripwires. Mishandle a file, and you're facing the Espionage Act. The information inside could change our understanding of aerospace, national defense, and who controls the skies. So what does this mean? The files don't scream aliens, they scream something else: humans. Pushing technology to the edge, possibly adversaries, possibly breakthroughs, possibly illusions engineered to confuse senses. And the public only sees fragments. Redacted pages, numbers without context, jargon without explanation. The stakes: massive. Transparency versus secrecy, safety versus panic, oversight versus operational security. Every file, every report, every sensor reading is a piece of a puzzle the public can glimpse but rarely touch. And the truth, it's still locked away. In a Capitol vault, in Pentagon offices, in classified folders stamped SAP. No foreign organ, waiting, for who? We don't know, but every leak, every pilot testimony, every radar anomaly pushes the debate forward. Americans are asking, what are we not being told? And more importantly, why? Because the skies are alive with questions. And the answers may be far closer to home and far stranger than we ever imagined. Congress demanded answers. The House Oversight Committee called hearings. Pilots described near collisions. Radar operators logged anomalies that didn't fit any known aircraft. Analysts briefed lawmakers, but the answers were partial, heavily redacted. Every page whispered the same warning: the government knows more than it's telling, and controlling the narrative is about power as much as safety. Inside the files, the narrative wasn't Cepheid, was science. Advanced propulsion, metamaterials bending electromagnetic waves. Radar and infrared readings confirming objects moving faster than anything publicly known. Some anomalies weren't craft, they were decoys. Sensor spoofing, designed to make ordinary drones appear impossible. The message was clear. Control the skies without firing a single shot. Trump never claimed to see aliens, but he hinted at the secrets hidden in these files. Maybe I'll release everything one day. But you might not like what you find. That what you find isn't UFOs. It's a hidden technology war happening right above American airspace. Pilots, intelligence, and lawmakers are caught in the middle. Secrecy is decades old. The Robertson panel in 1953 warned the CIA, "Don't incite public panic." Project Blue Book in 1969 logged over 12,000 UFO sightings, most explainable, hundreds unresolved. Iranian Air Force pilots in 1976 chased a glowing object across the sky. Systems failed, radar went offline. The file went straight to the Defense Intelligence Agency and was archived, classified, sealed. The pattern repeats today. Secrecy, control. REDACTION. Every marking on a file SAP. No foreign organ defines who sees it. Not Americans. Not most lawmakers. SAP equals only select personnel. No foreign equals no allies. Organ equals originating agency, controls distribution. Missteps trigger Espionage Act penalties. The stakes: high-tech intelligence, national defense, and possibly technology that changes everything. And here's the twist. The files don't scream aliens. They scream human ingenuity. The House, SCIF, or Sensitive Compartmented Information Facility, is a windowless vault buried inside the Capitol. Entry means passing biometric scans and to security officers, all logged in a bound ledger that's never left open on a desk. The insider didn't just walk in, they were escorted by committee security, carrying a sealed case marked with SAP cover sheets. No digital drives, no loose papers. Every page had to be accounted for. Every handoff witnessed by 2 cleared staff. Once inside, the file was placed in a GSA-approved safe, double locks, 2% rule for access. Any movement, even a glance at the material, triggered another entry in the access log. If the file contained anything above top secret, the House Security Director was notified in real time. The protocol leaves no room for improvisation. Digital submissions are even tighter. No outside USBs, no email attachments. Not even a classified fax unless it's routed through the secure network inside the SCIF. Everything is timestamped and reviewed by a control officer before a single lawmaker is briefed. By law, the Inspector General is alerted if anything looks off. If a page is missing, if a step is skipped, if a credential doesn't match. The process is designed so that not even the committee chair can break protocol. The security team updates the rules every 2 months, following new directives from the Office of the Director of National Intelligence. Since the surge in UAP whistleblower cases in 23, the committee has doubled down on biometric controls and TUISN access. No one leaves with a copy. No classified original is ever stored on a phone or a laptop. Every step, every signature, every fingerprint locked into the record. That's how a Pentagon insider's dossier stamped with late 24 credentials made it through the Capitals. Most secure intake. Before a single member of Congress even saw the front page, the file had already passed through more layers of security than most Americans will ever know exist. The moment classified files even brush against the topic of UFOs, the ripple hits every level of government. Lawmakers don't just get curious, they get nervous. After decades of official denials and redacted reports, the idea that a file tied to a special access program, one that might mention Trump by name, was now sitting in a Capitol vault. That's not just another day at the office. Security teams run drills for this kind of scenario. Phones are locked away. Staffers sign new non-disclosure forms. Even the most seasoned members of the House Oversight Committee start asking questions they usually save for closed-door briefings. The media, always watching for any sign of a leak, lights up the moment a rumor surfaces. It doesn't take much. Single tweet from a congressional staffer about a high-level classified review, and suddenly cable news panels are speculating about what could be inside. Is it evidence of advanced technology? Is it a threat from a foreign adversary? Or is it just another heavily redacted assessment that leaves more questions than answers? The headlines get bolder by the hour, but the actual facts stay locked down. National security officials brace for fallout. Internal emails bounce between Pentagon press officers and the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office. Each message flagged as urgent. Public affairs teams draft holding statements just in case, but no one wants to say too much. Not with the Espionage Act looming over every word. The White House press secretary is briefed, but the official line never changes. We defer to the Department of Defense. For the public, every new rumor feels like a test of trust. After the 21 Pentagon report confirmed 144 unexplained encounters, 80 with multiple sensors, 18 with flight characteristics beyond known technology, Americans want answers, not more redacted. The frustration grows with every FOA request denied, every page blacked out for national security. So, what do you think these files actually reveal? Drop your guess in the comments before we get to the details. If you want more hidden stories like this, subscribe now, because when the government locks a file away this tightly, it's not just about secrecy. It's about who gets to know the truth and who's left in the dark. Numbers don't care about rumors or redactions. In June 21st, the Office of the Director of National Intelligence delivered a report to Congress that changed the conversation. The document listed 144 separate UAP incidents, all recorded by US government sources between 2004 and 21. These weren't just tall tales or blurry lights from backyard telescopes. 80 of those cases were tracked by multiple sensors: radar, infrared, visual, sometimes all at once. That means pilots, ship crews, and ground stations all saw the same thing at the same time with different technology. That's rare in military reporting. It's even rarer when the objects involved don't match any known aircraft or weather event. 18 of those cases stood out for a different reason. Investigators flagged them because the objects moved in ways that defied normal physics, accelerating, stopping, or changing direction with no visible propulsion. That's not just a paperwork error or a sensor glitch. These are incidents logged by trained personnel, reviewed by intelligence analysts, and left unexplained after months of technical review. The numbers kept growing. By 24, the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office reported more than 1,800 cases under review. Most, they said, were probably drones, balloons, or airborne clutter. But even after sorting, several dozen still had no clear explanation. That's a lot of unanswered questions for a government that usually prefers neat conclusions. Every official report follows the same pattern. Most incidents get explained, but a stubborn handful remain. Project Blue Book in the 1960s closed out 701 cases as unidentified. The 21 report gave us 144, with 80 confirmed by more than one sensor. That's not just a blip, it's a pattern stretching across decades, agencies, and generations of technology. The 21 report avoided wild theories. No mention of extraterrestrials or crashed sources, just the numbers. The data pointed to something real, persistent, and still not fully understood. Lawmakers and the public were left with the same question. If these cases aren't weather, drones, or foreign tech, what's left? That's where the frustration sets in. The numbers are public, but the details are not. Each case is a line in a spreadsheet, stripped of names, locations, and sensor readouts. Requests for more information hit a wall of redactions. The only thing that comes through again and again is the scale of the mystery. Hundreds of incidents, dozens with hard data, and a government that still can't or won't say what they are. So, when a file lands in a Capitol vault stamped with the same kinds of incident numbers and sensor logs, it's not just another secret. It's a possible piece of the puzzle. The question isn't whether the government is tracking unexplained things in the sky. They are, and the numbers prove it. The real question is what those numbers mean and why the details keep slipping just out of reach. Inside the Capitol, The tension is real. The moment a classified file with any mention of UAP lands in a congressional vault, lawmakers start pressing for answers. Some are worried about national security gaps. Others want to know if they are sitting on a public relations crisis. In the summer of 23, the House Oversight Committee called a rare open hearing. The room filled with lawmakers, Pentagon officials, and a handful of whistleblowers who had signed away their careers to testify. At the center of the discussion, pilot safety, unexplained encounters, and the government's duty to tell the truth. John Kloski, director of the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, did not mince words. "We seem to have the full support of the administration in pursuing answers. It is a potential national security problem, a safety of flight issue. For pilots, these are not just theoretical risks." One Navy aviator described a near collision off the East Coast, an object with no transponder moving at impossible speeds, forcing a split-second course correction. The incident made it into the official record. It was not the only one. In 21, the Pentagon confirmed 144 UAP incidents. Some were just radar blips, but others involved trained military pilots, cockpit audio, and sensor data that did not add up. The new wave of hearings brought these stories out of the classified shadows. Lawmakers demanded more than summaries and redacted reports. They wanted raw evidence. Kasowski's team faced a barrage of questions. Why were so many cases still unexplained? What protocols protected pilots from mid-air collisions? The answers were rarely satisfying. AARO's review counted more than 1,800 cases by 24, but only a handful were ever fully declassified. Most were locked behind security markings. SAP, no foreign or con, each layer making public release harder. Pressure built from both sides. Some members of Congress, frustrated by years of stonewalling, threatened to subpoena additional witnesses. Others warned about the dangers of revealing too much too fast.